You made me go get all this for nothing? We left the bottom paint looking like this, and it shouldn't, because this boat's literally brand new.
Before and after. We're gonna be doing some bottom painting on a boat that's already been bottom painted. We're just gonna freshen the coat up. These sanding blocks are gonna knock off some of the old excess and just give us a better surface to bond to with the new paint. This sanding block right here, hard rubber, you get these strips like this, these sheets, and on the back you just measure up to the width of your sanding block, and you'll take your knife and just slice down like that, and you'll end up making strips like this. And this is 80 grit sandpaper that we're going to be using today.
Let me show y'all what this looks like. Here's why we're having to do this. The edge of this boat's been totally refurbished. The only thing we haven't done is the bottom paint. You can see why we're going to sand it. Look close there. I mean, there's a few years of bottom paint. Somebody didn't sand this accordingly, and you don't have to do a lot here. The 80 will take care of it. You can see right in there especially. But this is a super nice boat. Like you see on the inside, I mean, this boat's totally refurbished. It's a 27 Rambo, but we left the bottom paint looking like this, and it shouldn't, because this boat is literally brand new, rebuilt. So, pretty much just for aesthetics, this is why this is happening. So you can see why we're using 80.
You'll get that measurement with that sanding block as your width, and you'll just take your knife and go down the side like that, and it pops off. Once you get your strip made, you're gonna kind of center it up, and on these they have a rubber pullback like this, and it shows, you see those teeth inside there? What you do is you grab your sandpaper and pull these back, set it up in there as centered as possible, and you clamp down, and you'll hear those teeth grab into that paper. You wrap it around this side and do the same thing. Just lift, slide that on up in there like so, and push down. And now you've got your own sanding block. It gets done, you just cut you another strip just like that, put it on, and keep going. So we've got 2 of them already set up with multiples cut already. That's all there is to prepare to sand. And if you've ever done anything with bottom paint, you know how bottom paint is. It is not good stuff. It is very, very nasty. If it gets on something, it's there.
It's absolutely toxic.
It's not like a normal paint. See, before and after.
Unless you're stripping it down to the bare hole, there's no reason to go completely insane. You just want to get, you don't want step layers. You want it kind of to be smooth. The bottom paint will fill in a lot of that, but you want to do a decent job on it, man, or it's going to be steps. You're going to have chunk looking stuff in it just like it does now. The end of that. Disabled.
You like that, didn't you?
Yeah. We get that question all the time. It's like, why don't you just get rid of the bottom paint then? Because it's not that easy is why. They can walnut blast it. There's a few things they can do. But man, you're gonna have some repairs to do, and then you gotta paint that or gel coat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to gel coat a lot of it. So it's once it's done, man, I mean, people will argue the point, but it's, you know, it's done. This is just Scott contractor masking tapes. All this is. A lot of people won't use specific tape. They want to use the Scotch Blue 3M. That's good too. And I like frog tape too, believe it or not, because it works. Some people say, "Oh, that's for indoors." I don't care. It works. Anything kind of works. So what you don't want to do is have to be peeling it off for days. So regular masking tape works fine for this, and that's what we're going to use. You want to run this all at one time on the whole side. You can. Just let it run pinstripes. Stick it all at one time.
This one's got a weird curve to it.
Well, we're going to deal with it. This is crucial too if you want it to look real good. Getting this stuff just right, and it's hard to get those lines straight. You just got to pay attention. Really, it's not hard, I guess. Once you do it about 300 times, it's like no big deal anymore. We've done so many bottoms. Like I've had charter boats for 30 years, so like you got to paint them every year. This is something you just get used to.
Part of the business.
It is. Oh, you guys, how are you gonna paint it on that trailer? We're not. So what we'll do, we'll paint what we can get to in the barn here, and then to minimize the hang time around the marina, hang it on the lift. We'll get it all, everything we can do here, and then we'll finish off the belly of the boat on the lift. Wax paper the bunks, let it sit a couple hours and set it back on the trailer onto the wax paper. It's got to be dry. I mean, it's got to be tacked up very, very good, or you're just going, when you pull the wax paper off, it's going to be a disaster. I hope this thing ain't dead. Oh. You made me go get all this for nothing?
No. Yes. One of the biggest things you want to also do when you're taping these, the top edge not so much, but if you're going to have tape on there for long periods of time, you don't want any dew going down and getting underneath the tape and causing it to run down the water. But the biggest thing is you don't want any type of bubbles on your bottom edge, because what happens is you're rolling, the paint will suck up into that air pocket, and you'll have a nice little kick up of bottom paint underneath that tape line. So you want to make sure that you seat that edge on the bottom side very, very well. Kind of rub it, give it some heat, and let that adhesive work. That way you don't get those bottom paint streaks suck up into those air voids.
When you're doing these corners, sometimes it'll take 2, even 3 pieces of tape. We got a special, trim piece here that's absolutely necessary. So to get that curve, you can't put flat around a curve. So it takes a couple pieces.
All right, guys, and just like that, we're done.
Yeah, snap. There it is. Why does it say that?